What's up, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages? It's time for Wake Up Mintzy, presented by the fine folks of Dude Wipes on this glorious fall Tuesday morning here in Chicago. Just walked to work. It's beautiful outside. I don't know how you could ask for more. Football's in the air. We're coming off NFL Week 1 finishing last night. College football Week 2. There's just so much to get into. I'm trying to fake like I'm in a good mood, to be honest. But we're here. We're doing the damn thing, and we're joined by Billy Football this morning, the old neighbor from Hoboken, one of my best friends at Barstool for sure, and New York Jets, massive fan. So I know he's going to have a lot of thoughts on last night. Billy, how are we doing this morning?
Ben, thank you so much for having me on. Last night, going over the tape this morning, I'm actually feeling a lot better about the game. It just basically came down to time of possession. I mean, in my opinion, there was rusty. There were some miscues, some dropped passes. There was the interception. And our defensive line was getting ran through like tinfoil. But at the end of the day, the 49ers are one of the best teams in the league. We're in the Super Bowl last year. Some would say maybe the second best team in the league after the Chiefs. So, honestly, we got a good stretch. Patriots next week, who aren't, a stepping stone. Vikings, got some other guys in there too. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks to see how good the Jets are actually. Because if you look at it basically from the second quarter all the way into the fourth quarter, the 49ers dominated the time possession. The defense got super tired out. They couldn't get off the field. They did make some stops on fourth down, and, their kicker put up 26 fantasy points. They scored 18 points just from the kicking game. So only 2 touchdowns they gave up. But they were tired. They couldn't stay on the field. So that's just a Shanahan game planning.
All right, as always, Wake Up Mintzy, presented by the fine folks of Dude Wipes. Let it rip with Dude Wipes. You'll never need crappy dry toilet paper again. Amazon, Walmart, Target nationwide. Honestly, I don't know how you could live without Dude Wipes. I take them everywhere with me. One of the great products we've ever seen. We appreciate their sponsorship. All right, my thing from this game last night. All right, and I lost. I had the under in the game, and I was way wrong. Billy, Jets had a top 5 defense last year. They got talent all over the field. I know Hassan Reddick's holding out right now, but whatever. What the hell happened to the run defense last night? I know the Jets have speed everywhere, but I thought the Jets with Quentin Williams and C.J. Mosley, I thought they were tough up front. I actually thought, obviously we'll get into the Christian McCaffrey thing at some point, but I thought the Jets' run defense would be really good this year, and they got just gashed like a sieve all night. 146 yards and 28 carries from Jordan Mason. That was where I misread the game, because I thought Aaron Rodgers – I thought there was way more good than bad, considering he didn't, he barely played last year. I thought Rodgers made some good throws. I just don't know what the hell happened to the run D.
The run defense got slashed. Honestly, I think there is something where they basically knew McCaffrey wasn't going to play, and they put in a couple run packages that were more favorable to Mason. And they're game planning for McCaffrey all week, and then all of a sudden, right before the game, he's not playing. Like, there is a lot to that. That's like the Nick Foles effect that they say. Like, basically, if you have no tape on a guy, you can't really game plan for him, and it actually is an advantage in the end. So Mason was more of a north-south runner, power back. McCaffrey's a lot shiftier. He was hard to tackle. A lot of the Jets' defensive schemes, you saw they were more amoeba, more guys like, not in a three-point stance, more floating around, basically a more conducive defense to like playing against McCaffrey, who, McCaffrey's a very good running back. He can run guys over, but I think he's a little easier to tackle. Definitely a little more wily, a little more, wormy than Mason, but basically they just hammered him down the hole. They didn't game plan for it. And also they just were on the field for such a long time. In the Trent Williams effect, like the Niners front five, like, we were saying, I think, that a Mason guy is a way better running back than people are saying right now, but they're saying, Dukes could run behind the 49ers line and get, as many yards as Mason was. I don't think McCaffrey, they game planned for McCaffrey. You can tell by the defense. They were, trying to make sure there weren't big, huge runs broken. They weren't expecting, that pounding run every single time. So that's where I think there was a breakdown. And I kind of, Mason knew he was going to start. McCaffrey might be out next week. I think there's a lot more to this from McCaffrey keeping this secret, trying to be the best, the most picked fantasy number one, because if he was hurt, that's a little dodgy, especially in the age where you have a lot of money going on these games. I think we need to look into what happened there with McCaffrey not telling anyone until an hour before the game he was sitting.
Well, we're going to jump into that for a second, because speaking of fantasy, listen to this story I've got on that front, Billy. So I'm in you'll love this. I'm in a Bitcoin league, Billy.
Yeah.
It's a Bitcoin to buy into the league. I got staked in it. I spent
God.
Yeah, it's serious. It's like a 60K buy.
Jesus.
I spend $63 of my $200 on McCaffrey. Okay, I get it. At the end of the draft, I tried to save a couple to get Jordan Mason on the handcuff, and I got outbid for him, and he stole somebody. John Racner, never mind, poker buddy, guy stole him, and so I didn't get Mason at the end of the draft when I tried. And then McCaffrey dude, Billy, I woke up at 5 a.m. You know how, like, in life, you'll have like a knot. You know how you'll have like a knot in your stomach when like you can't sleep and something's wrong, if you're having like relationship problems or job problems or like something like seriously wrong. Dude, I woke up at 5 a.m. with a knot in my stomach over this Christian McCaffrey situation in my Bitcoin league. I looked down at 5 a.m. My stomach has a knot. I like couldn't go back to sleep because that's how upset I was over this McCaffrey thing. Freaking crazy.
God.
Dude, it's a nightmare. And I agree with you. I think this may be worse. Schefter's already saying he's out against Minnesota. Dude, he might be out. Dude, he could be out like 6 days. I mean, dude, who knows, right? When I heard his Achilles was involved, who the hell knows?
I mean, it's definitely a serious injury that he's known about for a while, for a very long while. And it's like pretty ridiculous that it wasn't reported because it's that serious. Speaking of fantasy situation, I know no one wants to hear about, talking about your fantasy team, but the fucking kicker for the Niners was playing against me, and I almost lost the game because he put up 26 points. And then the other team also had Breece Hall. So Breece Hall was still in when Aaron Rodgers was out. So then he was like getting those garbage yards at the end of the game. I only won by one. I put up 161 points in the Yahoo Fantasy League, and it was 159 because 26 points out of nowhere for the Niners kicker, and then Breece Hall getting garbage yards at the end of the game because he didn't get taken out. That was a barn burner, but that was wild.
Yeah, well, okay, I want to ask about Aaron Rodgers, then we'll get into more football. So I thought, look, I know the Jets' run D got gashed, but I thought Aaron Rodgers, I saw more good than bad. I know he had that one tipped interception, but I didn't think that was like totally his fault. He was under pressure. It was kind of like a tipped up ball. Whatever, but I thought, Garrett Wilson flashed really good. Considering Rodgers hadn't really played in like 2 years and he's 40 years old off an Achilles, I thought he looked good. And, I mean, I know the result wasn't what you wanted, but I thought, there was reason for optimism on the Jets front.
I mean, that free gimme touchdown they got off the false start to Lazard right up the seam, you don't get that with any other quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is the best at getting those gimmies. And he converted on that. And you cannot game plan for that. You cannot count that out. He had some great throws, some great back shoulder throws. He was slinging it. He was like, that was the first time for me to watch Aaron Rodgers in a Jets uniform sling it. And, after seeing him in Green Bay, seeing the stuff he could do, like, the way he even throws the ball, it's like with his wrist and using his hip flip, it's like unique to any other quarterback in the NFL. And, Mahomes has it, but he's got a different release point. Like Rodgers just so effortless with it. And to see the way he was seeding the football around the field, there was 2 drop passes, lack of possession. If you look at like the 19 points they put up compared to basically their minutes of possession. So the possession was 38 minutes to 21 minutes. San Francisco possessed it for 38 minutes. So 7 of the 21 of the Jets minutes was fourth quarter garbage time. So they only had the ball for 14 minutes in the game. In the Shanahan offense, they got the ball at half and all that. But, like, if you look at the first quarter of that game, it was a pretty evenly matched. And, whatever happened. 2 drops. The offense is trying to get in rhythm. Because think about it. That was the first time the Jets players, and especially the Jets playmakers, who did amazing, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Brees Hall in the beginning was getting rocked a little, but he was able to open it up. Like, that was the first time they were in a game where it's like, there's no excuse not to do well now. Like, we have to perform. And coming out of week 1 this year, we may have lost the battle, but we can still win the war. I mean, coming out last year was like, well, we won the battle. We beat the Bills, but at what cost? And then ultimately lost the war. The season was a wash because no Aaron Rodgers. There is so much more to build. Our schedule looks amazing this year to get some serious success. We started with a really, really hard opponent. It's only up from here, so I can't complain. I mean, Lazard, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I thought Garrett Wilson looked awesome, I thought.
Dude, my parlay, like, literally we had the Aaron Rodgers touchdown. We had the Garrett Wilson touchdown. Had the Brees Hall touchdown. Needed a Garrett Wilson touchdown and a Jets win, and it would have cashed for plus 1,000. And I know there was a lot that need to go in there, but that could have easily happened with a few different, it would have been a barn burner. It was just those field goals and just like the grinding of possessions.
No,
I just realized I forgot to take my nasal strip off this morning.
I know. So do you sleep with? Is it like a sleeping thing?
Yes,
for you?
I sleep with it and then I work out with it, and I just
helps you breathe. It helps your breathing.
Oh yeah, I can breathe. Like, I can actually breathe. It's amazing.
All right.
I actually think I might start doing the podcasting because I sound less nasally.
Yeah, I would say I kind of like the nasal the look on you. Did you get to watch a bunch of other football over the weekend? I was going to ask about some NFL.
Yes.
I want to dive into the rookie quarterbacks because that was such a thing this weekend. Of the 3, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix, I thought Jaden Daniels easily looked the best.
Right.
I hit a shout out DraftKings. We're DK partners. I've been having a lot of fun. They gave out 4 free $20 touchdown bets this weekend. And my strategy with these free bets, like, I'm not betting anybody that's like even money to score touchdowns because winning $20 don't do nothing. I had Jaden Daniels 2 rushing touchdowns, 17-1 Sunday, Billy, and he ran that second one in with a minute left. I hit that on the stream. It was pretty electric because he got stopped at the half-yard line or 1 yard line, and when I thought he scored, but his helmet came off, and so it blew him dead. And I celebrated and then didn't. And then Brian Robinson got stopped at the half-yard line, and then Jaden ran it in. It was electric. But I hit that. But I thought Jaden Daniels looked good. Their receivers couldn't separate. They really don't have any receivers other than Terry McLaurin, and then he had a bad game. I mean, they almost hit him on a 75-yard touchdown. But I thought Daniels looked good running the ball, and the speed of the game didn't look too bad. The other 2, Caleb Williams and Bo Nix, I thought looked like disasters, especially Bo Nix.
I mean, Bo Nix had his ups. You could tell that he was in a much worse position. But Caleb Williams was just taking the worst kind of sacks. They got the dub. And I know that's the only stat he cares about. But some of the sacks he was taking, like, you can tell that, the mindset hasn't changed, which for me shows that, like, he thinks he can go out there and do what he did in college off the bat, which I think shows a little bit like, the fact that you're thinking you can make the escapes you did in college against players who are much faster, much bigger, and you're taking those risks instead of, getting the incompletion, throwing the ball out of bounds. I mean, it's a hard learning curve and it's his first game, but in order for him to have success, he's got to learn that he cannot scramble 30 yards back and make a play. He's got to be more conservative with the football because, Will Levis is a perfect example. He's a baller. He's a gunslinger. Love Will Levis. But, this past week he got into a little trouble trying to make plays. And, quarterbacks who want to win sometimes are all guilty of this, and it works a lot more in college. When you get to this next level, you got to lock it in. Like Josh Allen even is a victim, like becomes a victim of this, and he was a little mid last year. He pulled it out in the playoffs, but trying to make a play and trying to like make something out of nothing is sometimes not worth it unless it's the fourth quarter. Like you can't play like trying to make big plays in the second quarter. Like when there's still a lot of conservative ball that needs to be played. Like the Niners, they played conservative ball, ran the fucking football, made the right choices, like minimized turnovers, minimized like big losses in the backfield, and they were able to grind down the Jets defense. That's something like Caleb Williams needs to start realizing, like, hey, let me just try to be a game manager to get this under control and, take my opportunities where I can. Taking those huge losses is exactly what you can't do.
Yeah, no, that's my thing, and that was my worry on Caleb Williams coming in was just the ball doesn't come out on time. And he always, I mean, everything you're saying, I'm just echoing. He always ad-lib, make plays. And I saw it in preseason. I saw it again. I mean, he's just got to be more decisive with the football and get it out. And that's my concern there. The Bo Nix thing, look, I was guilty. I always say don't look at preseason at all. I always say that. And then I watched that preseason game where he went 8-9 against Green Bay, and I was like, oh, he's like a point guard distributing the ball in the Sean Payton offense, the short passing offense, kind of like, can it be like a dot Drew? Like, obviously, he ain't going to be Drew Brees, but I was like, can he just, like, get the ball to the right place on time and run the offense? And I was like, yeah, he can. That was a very false assumption. He looked atrocious. Anytime he threw the ball more than 5 yards down the field, it was into, like, bad coverage. He was misreading people. I mean, I thought it was kind of a nightmare watching it.
I mean, it's crazy. Some of these guys in college who are, like, great playmakers, they sometimes do not, because they know they can make plays. Like Johnny Manziel is like probably the most extreme example of this, where because you can make plays on the fly, you do not put in the, X's and O's. You do not put in the reads and the book time to like basically go through the reads and the play, and you quit on it too quickly. Like instead of going 1, 2, 3 through your progressions, you're like 1, 2, fuck it, I'm going to scramble and try to make something happen. And when you're in your first game in the NFL, you're not going to have the intuition that you need to make that decision. You just got to trust your coaching and go through instead of running around like a chicken with your head off. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm going to hit some other stuff in the NFL. I got to have my moment. Are the New Orleans Saints freaking back? Holy crap. I know Carolina. Look, let me be real honest. Carolina is the worst team in the NFL. I know that. I know Carolina sucks. But last year, the Saints played them and beat them 28-6 and like 17-13. And they beat them, and the defense dominated. And I know Bryce Young sucks. But I said all offseason, I was like, the only hope for the Saints this year, if Clint Kubiak, the new offensive coordinator they hired from the Niners, the passing game coordinator, if he's a wizard, that's the one hope for the Saints. He looked like a freaking wizard on Sunday. Holy crap, that was a different team. And I love the Taysom Hill at running back with Alvin Kamara. And then you've got Rashid Shaheed, who could fly as your number 2 receiver stretching the field with Olave. All of a sudden, they got some weapons. They did a good job hiding the O-line. But, Billy, I'm trying to, on the temper enthusiasm, I mean, I know Carolina sucks, but that's the best the Saints offense has looked since Breeze and Peyton. Should I be excited, or is it just 1 week?
Who dat?
Let's go. I mean, who that's saying to beat them Saints?
You see Derek Carr? He's got his swagger back. He's like yelling at guys like, I just dropped 3 touchdowns on you. Like, that is the confidence you want in a veteran. He's not playing scared. And, having a big win like that first week, like, who do they got next week?
At Dallas, big noon. Dallas 6.5-point favorite. I don't expect the Saints to necessarily win at Dallas, but if it's a close game and they fight, I'm still encouraged. I just don't want to get
Dallas really impressed me. Dallas really, really impressed me because just from their defense, I thought that Deshaun Watson would finally be out of the woods and be able to get some plays out. I've never been a believer in Dak, but seeing the Dallas defense play over the weekend, Micah Parsons, I don't know if Deshaun Watson is terrible or if Micah Parsons is just the equalizer, because you cannot get away from him. He's like the best. Like, honestly, maybe Derek Carr has an advantage because Micah Parsons is the complete, like a guy like Caleb Williams. Parsons makes him panic quicker and makes him, when he's going through his reads, makes him panic and get out of the pocket and get crazed quicker. You see that with mobile quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson. Micah Parsons is the kryptonite to the mobile quarterback because he is faster, he will get to you, and he will cause you to panic. Whereas Derek Carr, he might stand in there, see the blitz, be like, fuck it, I just got to keep in the pocket. I'm not going to be able to outrun this guy. I just got to get the ball out quick, and maybe he'll be able to do better. Maybe he'll be able to be better protected because he's not running out of the way as fast and going through his progressions. That's something to watch. But that might be good news. But hey, I mean, maybe the Browns are just that bad and made the Cowboys look amazing.
Well, the Browns had both their starting right and left tackle out, which is a nightmare against that pass rush.
Right.
But my biggest shout out on that, though, was there was a lot of talk about Dan Quinn got the Commander's job and left the Dallas DC. But, dude, Mike Zimmer's always been a wizard DC, and everybody forgot about him since he got fired in Minnesota a couple of years ago. I thought the game plan and the way they prepared, I thought he reminded everyone how good he is. All right, here's a fun question. Do you think Deshaun Watson can go out publicly in Cleveland at this point?
Bro, Deshaun Watson, if I was Deshaun Watson, I would figure out how to get as much money off your contract. Go get the fuck out of America or go somewhere.
Go to Thailand where they got like cheap massages?
Yeah.
You can go sit on the beach and get those $10 massages in Thailand?
I'm just saying, the body craves contact, and maybe he has been getting it some other ways, so he's just running straight into defenders. I mean, it is what it is.
I don't know how, because I know how passionate that Browns fan base is, and he's got that $230 million guaranteed. That contract is sinking that franchise. I don't even know how he can go in public at this point. I'm serious.
And Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, there was in MetLife. There's a walkway where he was walking to his car, and people were right there with Daniel Jones. And someone in the Barstool office was like, "That's dangerous because a Giants fan might just try to make sure we can't pay him all that money some random way."
Yeah, I'm
just saying they might kill Daniel Jones.
They ought to kill that Giants GM. How the hell are you you know what? We've seen this body of work from Daniel Jones. Let's give this dude 4 years and $160 million. What the hell are you? How do you give him 4 and 160? I mean, I know that the NFL contracts are going up and its salary cap is going up, but $40 million for $40 million a year for Daniel Jones? Dear God, the dude's making $2.5 million a game. Or I guess 17 game season. But okay, 2.33. My bad. But what? How the hell do you think that's okay? Here's another one. Who's the worst quarterback in the NFL? Daniel Jones or Bryce Young? Who do you think's worse?
Bryce.
We had a poll. You think Bryce Young's?
Young.
We had a poll.
I don't understand how he ever got drafted. The dude, literally looked like there's high schoolers at my high school that I went to watch that are more physically imposing than Bryce Young. Bryce Young, how even tall is he?
He's
built
5'10".
He's 5'9". Built like a child. I mean, some guys can get away with it with throwing lanes and whatnot, but he doesn't seem like that type of guy. He's definitely. I always saw this and I was kind of he's just, he doesn't have a good build. If I was Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, they all got great builds and they all that gives them a little confidence when they're about to get crushed. He looks like he's playing scared. I mean, when you're behind the Alabama offensive line, I guess it's easy to feel protected and, feel confident stepping into throws. I mean, I think he's just a little shell shocked by he's in a place where he could get hurt and he's just trying to make plays scared. I mean, I don't see how you can get into a better position.
All right, I'm going to put you some rapid-fire fun spots off some Week 1 losses. I'm going to call this the widespread panic segment. Either panic or they're fine. Cincinnati Bengals, 0-1, losing home to New England. T. Higgins was out. Jamar Chase has, missed a lot of camp. Are you panicking with that bad loss for the Bengals, or is it going to be fine?
Panicking?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, you don't get. I feel like the Bengals last few years, it's almost like last year they lost 31-0 to Cleveland Week 1. Kind of got it together a few weeks later. It seems like there's a trend with them where it's preseason, beginning of the year. They're just not ready for the start of the year.
I mean, the worse they do, the longer Chase is gonna hold out.
Well, he played, but anyway. Okay, so panic on Bengals. Yeah. Atlanta Falcons gave Cousins all that money, drafted Penix. Obviously, really bad Week 1 for the Cousins, losing 18-10 at home in Pittsburgh. Panic, or are they going to be okay?
They're going to be okay because Penix is in the background.
How long do you think? I think we're going to see him. Cousins, I didn't think was – what I saw in that game, Cousins wasn't able to plant that well and wasn't getting that much on his throws. Coming off the Achilles. I think we may see Penix sooner than later. What do you think?
Right. So that's why I don't think you panic because, he may revolutionize the offense.
Yeah, I think that's Certainly possible. All right, Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love out 3 to 4 weeks. MCL sprain. Malik Willis going to start at quarterback in the NFL again? Dear God.
Panic.
Contact Tannehill. Panic or okay?
Panic. Anthony Richardson is what they thought Malik Willis was going to be. And Malik Willis has not panned out to be Malik Willis that they thought he was going to be. So panic.
Okay,
Absolutely.
panic. Do you think they should sign Tannehill?
Depends on how Malik Willis looks in practice. Depends if Malik Willis is the type of guy that's grinding next man up, like ready to go in a second, or it's like he's got to work in. Because if you're going to have to do the work to get another guy starting, might as well get someone else just to make sure you got a backup.
Yeah, I just remember the games he started a couple years ago where he couldn't throw for 100 yards. I don't know. I'm curious to see LaFleur will design that Green Bay offense. They'll be running the ball. It's a nightmare if you have any of the Green Bay receivers. But
Anthony Richardson, I love.
Let's talk about it because you saw that throw off his back foot. That throw where he slipped and then just launched that 60-yarder to Pierce was one of the best throws I've ever seen.
Oh, and the thing is, you can tell he's built durable. He can handle that type of running. Like Justin Fields, all those guys who've been running a lot and getting injured. Like you can tell Anthony Richardson has just got the muscle mass, and it's a double-edged sword because if you have the muscle mass, sometimes you don't have the arm because you don't have the flexibility in your upper shoulder because you have too much muscle. He's the best combo I've seen of it, where like he's got the weight to take the hits and to lower the shoulder, but it's not affecting his arm strength because his arm strength is like jumping out the gym, like throw it out the stadium. I mean, it's just freakish athletic ability that's able to like take the workload of taking those hits, throwing the ball down the field. And I mean, I'm very excited to keep watching him.
Yeah, I am too. I look, it's going to be entertaining week to week. It's just like fascinating because he can make those crazy throws and run, but then he completes like 9 passes. I mean, it's going to be be just an all over the place experience.
He reminds me of LeGarrette Blount, who can throw it 60 yards off his back foot.
Really? I never do that about Blount.
Well, Blount can't. He's a running back. He can't throw the football. But this guy can throw it with like freakish accuracy downfield, and he runs like LeGarrette Blount.
Well, I didn't. I mean, I could see the size and athleticism comparison. I didn't know that I necessarily saw that comparison coming. Okay. 2 more on the panic question. The Caleb Williams thing, panic, or is it just part of the growing pains?
I mean, he's got to grow and grow fast. If he's still making I just remember that one sack. He was running around 30 yards behind the backfield and just like, this is it's like, you're not playing Madden, man. Like, you're not fucking around. Like, play, like, stay in, make some reads, don't panic, and try to trust the system. You can tell he doesn't trust the system yet, but they got the win.
Yeah, they did. Despite him throwing for 93 yards, they won thanks to Will Levis. Did you see the quote from the Titans coach? If we would have just punted on 1st and 10, we'd have won the game.
Yeah, I'm a big Will Levis fan. I just it's one of those things where you just got to make smart decisions. Like I have film of me in high school throwing a pick. Just like he threw that pick when he was trying to throw it out of bounds while getting sacked.
He just shoveling it, trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, I have an exact same play, and it's really bad. But
I want to see it. Can we unearth that film to see the Billy? And we could do the freeze frame with the Will Levis one and Billy football one. You'll get a lot of clicks.
You don't see me doing Panic Cobra. What's it called? Defeat Cobra? Yeah, is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Like this? But I understand his mindset in that moment. It's like, take the 10-yard sack or throw it out. But like, he took a gamble, and it's the hardest thing because you're in high adrenaline situations and your brain just goes into make a play mode and like salvage as much as you can instead of just like take the L. Like, you gotta learn to take the L. I think it's disaster Cobra.
Okay, I don't know. That's interesting. I've never known that. All right. 2 more on the panic thing, and then we're gonna talk about some other stuff. The Bo Nix Denver thing, is this like a total panic? And you think Zack Wilson gets a shot, or you got to see it out? What do you think?
Zack Wilson has been playing amazingly. Like in preseason, he's got his swagger back. He's back at altitude. He's closer to Salt Lake City than he was in New York. So I think he's getting some secret powers from the land of, the land of Joseph Smith's envisioned. But like, hey, I don't know what it is, but he's playing good. He's playing with swagger. His hair looks good. He's looking more relaxed. I mean, looking at what Sam Darnold's been doing, what Geno Smith has been doing, I would not be surprised to see Zack Wilson live up to his potential and live up to his ceiling, which might be akin to Patrick Mahomes.
The Zack Wilson Mahomes comparison still here. You mentioned Darnold. I do want to mention that.
Darnold's sick.
Dude, Kevin O'Connell's. I thought Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. Darnold, a lot of people realize him being a backup in that Shanahan offense last year, I think was like a perfect reset for him. Did you get to learn from them? And, everybody wrote the Vikings off when, Cousins left and they drafted J.J. McCarthy. But, man, they look dominant. I know the Giants stink, but Darnold, he started 10 of 10 for like 135 yards.
Bro, I saw
he could
Darnold
be kind of good.
I saw Darnold at tight end U 2 years ago, and I was like, yo, how happy are you to get out of the Jets organization and like out of the media circus and everything? And like, how much better is it to be where you're at right now, just from like a pressure standpoint, like a criticism standpoint? He's like, dude, like New York, he was like, everyone just hates it there. And I don't know, how can we as a city make a better place for our athletes so they can succeed? Because everywhere else, almost, I think Chicago is also in Cleveland is also bad from that standpoint. But like, these guys are having fun playing football again. Like, I think something makes Jets quarterbacks hate playing football when they play for the Jets. Outside of just like the organization, like it's crazy, but he's doing way better. He's been rehabbed. I mean, Zack Wilson, he can do stuff that other quarterbacks can't do. Like, it's just with arm talent, like Anthony Richardson almost. Like, he can make different slot throws. Like, just watch, because you're gonna see something happen.
Zack Wilson, Patrick Mahomes comparison still rolling years later here on Wake Up Mintzy this morning. All right, Billy, I want to ask you about what's going on with the audio crack. How are things going?
Great. Today we had on JJ Lapp, who is a D3 football player who played for the Rams in preseason, caught a game-winning touchdown from Stetson Bennett. He's a Long Island native. It was great just to talk football with him. Check it out, Audio Crack on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We got a presenting sponsor, which is amazing.
Congratulations.
So, thanks to everybody.
As do we, Dude Wipes. Thank you so much.
I won't go on another man's show and say a presenting.
I gotta ask you about this. So recently on the Unnamed show, Dave Portnoy said he compared you to Alex Jones. Like how in depth you go with conspiracies and thoughts. What were your thoughts on being compared to Alex Jones?
Dude, I'm going to be honest. We haven't really spoke about conspiracies that much lately on the podcast. But the comparison's great because, Alex Jones is views. He had a $1 million business. I know he got in some trouble for some bad things he said. We'll never cross that line at Audio Crack. But I'm just hoping that Dave's saying like, hey, this guy could be
No, I think I looked at it as a compliment. No, like, if
we
Dave
have a vertical, if he thinks that he has a vertical to grow with Audio Crack, hell yeah. We do.
Is Audio Crack the new InfoWars? People are saying.
It could be. It could be.
It could be. Well,
we haven't really gotten into anything. I have one guest that might be coming on who is going to be pretty controversial, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we're officially under the Barstool umbrella, which is awesome. We started this thing and we got to this point. I told myself I need to get this thing under the Barstool umbrella by football season, hit that goal. I actually have it written down. Time allocation. Yeah. I have like my goals written down and we got there. So, I mean, I have another goal for the end of the year to get some growth. So I'm pumped. I mean, Mintzy, thank you for coming on. One of the early
Of course.
guests.
Yeah. I love the picture we posted from me and you at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Posted this morning. Okay, how are things? Is the squat rack in the kitchen still getting used?
Well, the squat rack is now in my office. I moved. So
you
it's
moved?
right here.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're no longer in. Okay, so we're not. So we're all out of the old neighborhood in Hoboken, huh?
No, we're out of the. I miss it.
I know, dude.
miss
We
it
had
a
a good.
lot.
I liked the Hoboken thing, man. It was fun.
Oh, dude, it was dope. But last thing on Audio Crack, have you seen Dante?
I hadn't seen him, I guess I saw him last week. I will say, shout out Dante the Don, the farm, his new spot. He provided lunch for us last Thursday. The food at the farm was unbelievable. I'm supposed to go over there to watch college football, I think, on Saturday. He's asking me to come check it out. Dude, Dante's the man.
Next time Dante's in New York, sneak peek of an episode, we're doing an in-depth investigation into whether Dave Portnoy is in the Illuminati.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for that. I've been gathering some evidence. We got permission to do it. Dave said he maybe would call in. Not really expecting him to, but it's going to be a great episode. We have a lot of funny evidence. And honestly, it's a comical rabbit hole to go down. It's going to be funny. Like there's actually some wild conspiracies about Dave out there on the internet that I can't wait to tackle. And honestly, they're hilarious. It's actually really funny. Like some of the stuff like people think Dave's in on conspiracy wise. So it would be great to, if he ever came on the show, to have him address those, because it's crazy.
All right. I can't wait to listen to it. Well, okay. Well, football season, Audio Crack rolling. Everything good in New York? Anything else you got?
Stream, the results sucked last night, but we have a great vibe in the New York office. I mean, all's good, dude.
All right. Well, all's good with Billy Football. We'll love having you on Wake Up Mintzy, presented by Dude Wipes. And just thanks for coming on, talking some football with us this
Mintzy,
morning.
you're looking slim. How many pounds down are you?
Okay, I'm in like mid. Okay, I've been hovering lately. I'm in like the low mid 240s right now.
But you might be putting on some muscle.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I hadn't been lifting quite as much lately, and so I'm trying to commit to it, because I've really just been, what I've done lately, I during the week, I make no diet mistakes at all. Like Monday to Thursday or Friday, it's like just nothing, like no carbs, whatever. And then I work, so a 1.5 mile walk for me. So I walk to work and back now, and so I get a 5K in steps every day just off that, which is positive.
Nice.
But I hadn't been running as much or lifting as much. So my adjustment this week, I actually made a workout bet with one of my buddies last night that we have to exercise 4 times a week each, and walking to work doesn't count. So that's the thing. I got to get the weightlifting going back, because I can feel I got to get some muscle packed on. But you know what? It's still going positive, and I'm not trying to be too hard on myself, but you always can improve and do better. And
dude, this summer, I've been, weddings and everything. I'm going hard during football season. Like, I got a new Substack. I'm really trying to put on mass, and I'm going to do a semi bulk, a dirty bulk maybe until Christmas, and then New Year's start cutting and trying to hit the right timing to be jacked for next summer. But we'll get there.
I believe it. Well, you've been a great influence on me on that front, and I sincerely thank you, because you really have helped me a lot.
No, dude, you inspire me.
I feel
we're all
just out here trying to do the best we can.
It's a synergistic relationship of just high energy.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thanks, Billy, for coming on Wake Up Mintzy. Check out Subscribe to Audio Crack, and we're gonna stay on Wake Up Mintzy with Tyler Moody, and we're gonna switch to Moody and talk some DK lines. But appreciate you this morning, Billy. Thanks for
you guys. Peace.
As always, Wake Up Mintzy. I'm chugging some Stella Blue coffee, which you can find at Stan's Donut Shop. They sell Stella Blue at stands around Chicago. Dude, Stella Blue, amazing coffee. Big cat, a great human. I literally don't know how I'd be able to function in the Barstool office at Stella Blue. Tyler Moody, we got you?
Yeah, I'm here. Let's run it.
All right. First of all, thanks to Moody, as always, for holding down the fort from Louisiana. Enjoyed Billy Football, dude. Billy, one-of-a-kind character, man. I mean, I don't know what happened when they dropped that kid out the womb, but Moody, I'm sure you signed up for the Zack Wilson, Patrick Mahomes comparison this morning.
Oh my God, yeah. I can't. I don't know what Billy was saying some of the time. Hang on, I got to change my audio right there. I don't know what he was saying half the time right there. To be honest with you, I know the chat was a little bit confused, but fortunately, boys, I'm here to carry the day. You got somebody in here that actually knows football that's been spot on to open up the season. So do not worry. Guys. I am here to bring you some actual sports knowledge. That's what I'm here for. Everybody else does Barstool so damn well, and that's what I love about Barstool. But there's some people on the payroll that don't necessarily do sports the best, and that's what I'm here for, is to actually give y'all some legitimate sports knowledge. I got you.
All right, so it's like Mighty Mouse here. Here Moody comes to save the day. Here I come to save the day. All right, let's hit it with it, Moody. Bunch of stuff to recap from week one. You heard my Christian McCaffrey story, dude. I mean, I'm like, literally, I woke up at 5 a.m. like you would think like a family member died, or like I was like like when you get that knot in your stomach when something's wrong. That's like not something that happens a lot. I woke up at that at 5 a.m. over this McCaffrey thing. I'm crushed.
And I kind of agree. My friend, I agree with Billy on this part of it, that the fact that it's the Achilles, this is very, very concerning. Like, all my friends were talking about it last night. I expect him to probably miss the first 4 weeks if this is a legitimate concern here. I don't know. I would be worried if I was you. I really would.
I am concerned. I'm freaking out. It's better, yeah. But all right. Well, let's. One thing I had fun with Billy doing the widespread panic or not thing. One thing Moody and I, we go back to mixing it up with Mets in 2016 in Shreveport, and one of our favorite segments we always did. They got a lot of hits. Was we would do the guess the lines on Tuesday of the following week, and the only one, and I always am honest and transparent because sometimes you see them. I know the Saints Cowboys win because I follow too many Saints people on Twitter and I could not see it. Fascinating battle between our teams on Sunday. Cowboys 6.5 over the Saints. The Saints thing I talked about with Billy, dude? The Saints might be back. Who knows?
Well, I was all over the Saints. I kind of told you what I did. I pushed them up to minus 11 on the alternate line. Loved the Saints. I had Alvin Kamara as my touchdown scorer this week that I promised would score a touchdown. He got into the end zone. He was the big focal point of the offense, exactly like we talked about. The Saints defense is legitimate. Everything that you saw from the Saints, you should like. You should love what you saw from the Saints, but also pump the brakes at the same time because Carolina is fucking awful. They're so bad. It sucks. I mean, bro, I don't even usually cuss that much. That's how bad they are. They are absolutely atrocious to watch play football right now. That's not going to change this year. I was the one that brought this up, the Bryce Young and Daniel Jones thing. These are two quarterbacks that are so bad you flat out cannot win with them right now in the NFL, and the rest of the pieces around them are definitely not good enough for them to win many games. These are going to be your two bottom feeder teams the entire season, in my opinion. Yeah,
well, at least Bryce Young doesn't have a 4-year, $160 million deal. So at least they got that going for them. All right, is there any way – good?
But they spent all the draft capital.
Oh, I know, and they traded DJ Moore. Oh,
it's both. They're both awful because the front office made terrible decisions in both, and they're both going to cost their franchise for years now.
I think Carolina should almost get relegated, like Premier soccer style at this point. That's how bad.
I think Georgia might be able to beat them. It's possible. We always say, hey, can a college team beat an NFL team? If there has been a time, Georgia might beat Carolina right now.
That's so funny. Well, do you have the games in front of you on DraftKings?
I have. I can pull them up real quick.
Okay, yes. I want to do this run through this guest lines for Tuesday. For week 2. But man, loving talking this football. And hey, while Moody's pulling this up, I just want to give a shout out to DraftKings. Sign up with code Mintzy. You just $5 deposit, you get 200 in bonuses. But even more than that, what I'm loving about DraftKings, Moody, and I know you love doing this too, is the prop. Dude, they have all these boosts and free $20 bets. They have the free 4 $20 touchdown bets. I hit the Jaden Daniels 3-4. They've just got so many cool promotions, and then you can do the parlays, the alternate lines. You can bet touchdowns. You know, the end zone crown is a huge competition at Barstool. I made it to week 2 thanks to Derrick Henry. Man, the winner of it, the Survivor touchdown thing, gets a $50K bonus bet, dude. And then they're going to put it on a stream. You can't keep the money. You have to bet it and watch it on the stream. So I made it to week 2, but can you imagine?
That's amazing.
That is insane. But shout out DraftKings, all kinds of fun promotions. Loving betting on their sports book. It's just great stuff, and we're proud DK partners. All right, we'll run through this before we get out of here. We'll hit it from the start. It's Bills at Miami Thursday night, right?
Yeah, Bills at Miami on Thursday night. Give me what you think that line is. I'm gonna not look at these yet.
I'm going Miami by 3.
I'm gonna go 2.5. I think Buffalo. Yeah, you're right. 3's probably the right line. I'm gonna say 2.5 though.
What is it?
You're gonna be shocked at what it is. It's Miami minus 1.5.
Oh, so Vegas likes it. The Miami was 3.5 against Jacksonville, so Vegas kind of likes the Bills. This game could get kind of buck wild, I think. Look, can I guess over under is it? I'm gonna go with 50.5.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good number. It's 48.5 though. 48.5.
Okay, so I went a little low. All right, let's move on to Sunday and run through them pretty quick.
Okay, you need to call the game out, and then I'll identify, because if I look at the screen, I'm going to then know the
Okay.
line. Okay.
We already did say. Do you think Saints Cowboys 6.5 is right?
Yes, I think that's right. The Saints, even though they looked really good against a bad Carolina team, we don't trust that offense against a defense as good as the Dallas Cowboys. So yeah, I think 6.5 for the boys at home is good. But one thing is Dallas they didn't play that great at home last year. Really were great on the road, but they kind of stunk it up a little bit at Jerry's World. So that's something to have in the back of your mind.
All right, Bucks at Lions. I'm going with Detroit by 6.5 here.
I'm going to go 7.5 because I think that Detroit's quite a bit better than Tampa Bay still. Let's see, it's 7 though. It's 7.
Wow, right in the middle. Okay, and this is fun. Like, so for the Stoolies, like I'm really good at guessing these lines usually, and it's interesting. Whenever I'm off by 3 or 4 points, it's like I know something's going on the analysis stuff. Okay, next game, Colts at Packers. Malik Willis starting. I'm going with Indy by 2.5.
Colts at Packers. I think this has to be 4.5. 4.5 on the road is a huge number still. I'm gonna go minus 4 on the road. Malik Willis is absolutely terrible. I don't think the Packers are gonna be good enough with him at quarterback to run the ball efficiently. I'm going Packers minus 4.
You mean Colts minus 4?
Or Colts minus 4? Yeah. It's Indy minus 3.5 actually. 3.5.
All right, so you win. You win that one. You get that one. All right, Jets at Titans. Lot to unpack here after what happened for both those teams. I'm gonna go with Pick'em. Jets Titans.
Jets minus 2. No way. Jets minus 4 actually.
Wow.
Jets minus 4 on the road.
I'm off 4 points. Nice. I just said I was good. I just said I was good at this.
Vegas absolutely fading the atrocious gameplay of Will Levis, and I don't blame them for that at all.
We got Sam Darnold against his whole team from last year. 49ers at Vikings. I'm going with the Niners by 5.5 on the road in Minnesota.
Give me a full 6.5 here, almost a touchdown. Niners at Vikings. Am I not seeing it?
May not be up because McCaffrey.
6. It's 6. It is 6. 6.
Okay, so I get that one. I get that one.
Minus 6 on the road. Would not be surprised to see San Francisco win this game by 2 touchdowns, personally.
Seattle at New England. Patriots 1-0. Crushed every Survivor League, dude. I mean, anybody. So many people are out of Survivor because of that. I'm going with Seattle at New England. I'll say Seattle by 3.
I'm going to have this as like a damn near a pick 'em. I'm going to go Seattle minus 1 here. I'm off. I'm way off for the first time. Seattle minus 3.5.
All right. I get that one.
I don't really trust Seattle. They didn't look very good either. They ran the ball efficiently against Denver in the second half of that game, but Geno Smith looked bad to start. And Denver's defense is not very good to begin with. I don't know. Seattle's a team that I'm not confident with at all right now, to be honest.
I thought their defense. I mean, it's weird because we both like Knicks going in, but Seattle's defense was swarming. They hired Mike Montgomery, Ravens defensive coordinator. I thought he had the defense looking pretty good. All right. I think it's going to be a party in the stadium in Maryland. Giants at Commanders. I'm going with Commanders by 3.5 here, but I like them in the game. What do you think?
Giants at Commanders. God, I hate the Giants so much, but let me take my Giants hate out of this. Yeah, I think 3.5 is probably a pretty good number, honestly. I'm going to agree with you on 3.5.
I'm seeing 2.5.
Yeah, Washington minus 2.5. Okay, I could see that. Man, I like the Commanders in that
spot.
I
do too.
You're never going to see me on the Giants side, I don't think.
I think also there's going to be an energy with the first Daniels home game in that stadium. All right, Chargers at Panthers. Man, I think it was so bad for Carolina that I'm going Chargers by I'm going 6.5 on the road here, and maybe I'm going too low. That's how bad that Panthers Week 1 effort was.
Yeah, but you can't. I don't think you can factor that in too much. But a touchdown's a touchdown's probably the spot. I'm gonna go full touchdown here. So it's 6.5.
Hit it on the nose. I need the button. The ding, ding, ding. Hit it on.
Very nice.
Hit it on the nose. All right, Brown. We're gonna finish these off before we get out of here. Browns at Jaguars. Good God, we talked about Deshaun Watson with Billy. I don't know how they can even let him in the around the stadium or in Cleveland at this point. I'm going with Jacksonville -2.5 here because I think there's a stronger power ranking on the Browns still by Vegas.
I couldn't agree more. That defense is still going to be good, man. I think what you saw from Cleveland will be their worst game of the season, and part of that is because this Dallas defense is very, very legitimate. I was on Cleveland -2.5. I thought this was a spot where the Browns were going to show up, put together their best performance that they've had in years, and beat the Cowboys at home. That was not the case. Give me Jacksonville, I don't know, -3.
It's 3.5. You get that one. All right, Raiders at Ravens. Rough performance by the Raiders. Harbaugh got his first win. The Raiders' offense didn't play very well. Baltimore is going to be a big favorite at home here. I'm going to full 9 in this Raiders at Ravens. Cross country, and the Raiders look bad.
Yeah, full 9's probably good. This could be the first double-digit game of the season, but I don't think we'll quite get there. I'm going to go 8.5.
It's 9.5.
9.5. Yeah, 9.5. Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned he's going to struggle in that one. All right, Rams at Cardinals. Man, I got to say, we didn't talk about a lot with Billy. We were talking about a bunch of stuff. I thought the game Matthew Stafford played Sunday night was unbelievable. It's a tragedy he didn't get to win because he lost his left tackle, and they had that 6th-round dude from Michigan State out there who literally got penalties every play. Aiden Hutch, he couldn't block him. Stafford had a banged-up ankle. Puka Nacua was out. The fact that they almost came back and won, I thought that was it was just a warrior performance by Stafford. I thought it. I feel like people need to understand that was you got to give. I know you're a big Stafford guy. I thought the effort from him Sunday night was I don't know if there's enough words to even describe how good it was in that loss.
So I was on the Rams +4.5, and I feel like that's one of the worst losses I've taken in the NFL in quite a while because the Rams were definitely the right side. Sean McVay left 6 points on the field. They feel like they gave it away a little bit late. The Lions were also trying to give it away. Jared Goff was a freaking nervous wreck down the stretch.
You had
all over
your tweet was hilarious. You go, man, the Lions will win the Super Bowl if they had a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. I was like,
the irony that the Lions have this team that is good enough to win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, I might add, would definitely be a very, very legitimate Super Bowl contender if they had Matthew Stafford. For him to be the guy playing against them while the other pieces are suddenly so good, it's just so damn ironic.
All right, Rams at Cardinals. I'm going Rams by 3.5.
Give me 4.5. I think Vegas likes the Rams.
Rams by 1.5. Wow. Rams always beat the Cardinals too. All right, that's.
I thought it was at home. My bad. No. The Rams are on the road. That makes more sense. Okay.
All right, Steelers at Broncos. Woo, tough one for Bo Nix. Week 2 having to play this Pittsburgh defense. I'm gonna go. I don't think it'll be a big line though. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh by 2.
I'll go 2.5, and I want to guess the over/under while we're at it. I'm thinking it's gonna be I think it'll be in the 30s. I'm gonna go 39.
It's the Pittsburgh by 3 and 37.5.
37.5.
I still think that's too high with those teams. I don't. The only thing is turnovers could get you, but I agree with you. All right, boy, Bengals Chiefs have had so many big games over the years, but I feel like the Bengals are walking in wounded. This could be a bad situation. I'm going Chiefs by 6 here. Is that enough? 6.5. 6.5.
Yeah, give me a full touchdown. Kansas City, man, I think they are. There is a chance that Kansas City offensively right now is as good as we have ever seen them. I would not be shocked if you look up, and I know they didn't score a ton of points in week 1. Rashee Rice looked incredible. Xavier Worthy, explosive. Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield. I'm going to be shocked if Kansas City doesn't find themselves back in the Super Bowl once again.
Chiefs by 5. It's 5.5, so a little lower. But man, the Bengals. I know the Bengals and Burrows had success against Mahomes, but I don't think they will here. I just think the Bengals are not right now, And the Chiefs will be fired up at home with the way this rivalry's been the last few years. I think it's a tough spot for the Bengals. All right, 2 more. How about Sunday Night Football? The 1-0 Chicago Bears against Houston. Big Cat and all the boys in the office fired up for that Sunday night stream. I think Houston's going to be a 5.5 point favorite of the Bears.
I was going to say 6. Yeah, give me Houston -6 here.
6.5.
6.5. Okay.
And finally, Monday night, last game we got the matchup. Go ahead.
I'd also just like to add, I know I was the one person fading Caleb Williams pretty damn hard. I liked what I saw as far as what my opinion was concerned. He missed some throws. He held the ball too long. It was his first start. I think he will be better. But I'm still not on the Caleb Williams train. I'm perfectly fine with driving the fade Caleb Williams train. Didn't look great to me. We'll see. Time will tell. That defense saved his ass, because if they lost that game, and he was one of the reasons they lost that game, boy, the narrative would have really been something after week 1. So, yeah, the defense bailed him out big time.
I'm concerned, too, just the way he holds onto the ball. Monday night, the Battle of the Dirty Birds, Atlanta at Philly. Cousins, man, I didn't think he was planting and getting much velocity on the ball. I was a little worried about what I saw. I'm going Eagles by 6.5 here at home.
Yeah, I think the Eagles should be a touchdown favorite here. People are worried about Philadelphia. I'm not worried about Philadelphia at
How about your
all.
Saquon Barkley thing?
How about my Saquon Barkley thing? Bro, respectfully, how in the hell could anyone be fading Saquon Barkley after he just got out of that shit situation with the Giants? Even further than this, how could anyone roll with Daniel Jones as someone they support and then fade Saquon Barkley? It could not be me, is all I got to say. Could never be me. Saquon Barkley in that backfield, too damn good.
All right, Philly is a 6-point favorite. Check out the Fantasy Football Factory presented by DraftKings. I'm sure Moody is going to make a couple comments to Stephen Shea's. Tough week for Stephen Shea's Saquon Barkley bust take. He was right on Marcus Harrison.
Thank God for me, right? To come in here and we'll drop some winners for the boys, because Che, man, I love Che. Che's a great guy, but what a brutal week 1 for Che. Tough.
Yeah, here Moody comes to save the day. Well, thanks to Dude Wipes and Stella Blue as always. We'll be back on Wake Up Mintzy tomorrow. Let's have us a week, boys. Man, I love football. This is the best time of year.